gaming, it is XY.
Hashtag XY fans.
Hashtag XY fans. And you know what? I appreciate it. Sometimes we have like these names that like correlate with another player. There are some players called like, I don't know, like Jadong Oz or something, right? Who aren't even Zerg. But at least this guy, who sounds kind of like TY, is Terran.
True. Even though XY was around before TY was TY.
True.
He's like 33 at this point. He's an old player.
Oh my god.
He's going.
Really?
Yeah. He's 33. He's been playing since Brood War. He is a veteran.
Jesus Christ. I was looking at his page earlier and it did mention something about him being 29, but I guess it's not updated and yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
He's a, I mean, in terms of esports, he's an old man, but in StarCraft, you don't need those lightning fast reflexes, you don't need like insane micro mechanics to be a top level player, and XY kind of shows it.
It's what's weird is there's a 13-year gap between these two players.
Yeah. Firefly 20.
Like XY, he could have been playing Brood War while Firefly was like still being born, like before he was even born. Like, my god,
it's crazy to think about, honestly. Damn, I hope I'm playing video games when I'm 33. Oh my god.
Jesus Christ. Like, and you were talking about like, when it comes to like player reaction and stuff like that. And I mean, there's still plenty of players, especially in the Chinese scene, who are like, much older, nearing the end of their 20s or getting into 30 as well. And yeah, they're still going strong.
Yeah, China is a very, what's the word I'm looking for here? Tenacious scene, to say the least.
Yeah. And I think that's why it's all the more important for a player like Firefly, a younger player, to like step in, right? Otherwise it's like, it's just going to be full of these older players who have been around since the beginning of time. And yeah.
Gidef gets in his CV and it's going to shade out. Very nice.
Yeah, shades right into the natural, gets another SCV. Decent damage.
Very nice. It is, for one adept, it's pretty good. And he's going to lose it, but still. Not too bad. Gets a full scout off too.
Yeah, it does get a full scout off, and so far this looks pretty standard coming out from Firefly. I was hoping for something a little bit more crazy, like what we've seen in Taiwan and stuff like that. This is the region with coffee, like, come on, right?
This is the region that I'm gonna make the reference to Chinese League of Legends a lot. This is the region that has the most level 1 clown fiestas in League of Legends esports, and it doesn't seem to be any better in StarCraft, that's for sure.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, from what we've seen, and so far, nice moves coming out from XY, able to bounce the unit out of the wall, able to bust into the main base, gets a couple of probe kills.
Yep, and he sees the Twilight working away. He sees the 2 Stalkers. I imagine he's inferring a Blink build coming out as the opener from Firefly. Gonna be pretty standard.
Yeah, what's interesting is that as soon as Reaper dies, immediately the Robotic Spade gets thrown down as well, so...
Very nice timing.
Yeah, because there were like one of two ways where this could have gone. He could have like thrown down maybe a couple more gateways and committed to the Blink Stalkers, but he's switching up his tech.
Yeah, he's going for the Bay, going for those big high-tech robo units, the ones that do well against bio, and, it's a fair build, but at the same time, we've got Ravens coming out.
Yeah, again, pretty standard so far. Like XY, unfortunately, he hasn't scattered the Robotic Spade. He doesn't know that his opponent is, expanding and taking a third base. And I feel like after scouting, like especially the Twilight Council, you kind of want to be a little bit defensive here if you're XY. Like make sure you're you spread out your army just in case there is like a blink into the main or something.
Yeah, like his movements here seem to indicate he's preparing for some sort of like big blink push. Also looking for observers potentially, which I think he spotted with the shimmer as to why his Raven was moving that way. But Firefly didn't commit. He's going for the Colossi, and Colossi, kind of the main workhorse of the TVP matchup at the moment. You
Mhm.
see a lot of Phoenix Colossus coming out over the, sort of Charge-Lot Archon that you used to see a few months ago.
Yeah, yeah, there are even a couple of players who like they even skip Twilight Council, go Robo first, and just get a rush out of Colossus just so they get a much higher count early on. It's pretty
Yeah.
interesting, like the different ways that you can go about it.
Yeah, and he's already got a Colossus out, and he's ready for a drop. And though it doesn't look like XY wants to push out just yet, as he is just starting up his upgrades now, his 1-1 and his stim.
Yeah, so I really like this from Firefly because his opener got scouted, XY went super defensive. Like you could see like he pumped out his tanks, he was all sieged up, he was ready and waiting for some kind of big blink commitment, but Firefly just expanded. Now he's fully saturated on 3 bases.
Yup, and he's just ready to keep pumping out these Colossi. Like, damn, it's gonna be a beefy army.
Yeah, it's gonna be pretty rough. Like when you push into like all these Colossus, like there's 2 already, there's gonna be a 3rd on the way soon. Like extended thermal lance is finishing up. It's yeah, it's gonna be rough.
Yep, he's going into his Templar archives as well. Gonna get some more AoE. He's just gonna be pumping out all the AoE damage on the planet.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be absolutely disgusting. But you know, when it comes to XY and his army, like it doesn't look like he's going for a big move out. So like he will be able to slowly build up, and like that Raven, keeping that Raven alive is so important, especially when it comes to dealing with Colossus.
Oh yeah, those silences are just insanely important when fighting Colossi. Like just being able to like stop that much AoE damage coming down in a fight could be massive.
Yeah. Definitely. And we see, I'm surprised, Firefly, he's being a little bit cheeky here.
He's going for the Colossus drop. He's even got Warp Prison speed on the way too.
Oh,
He might
wait.
be lining this up a little bit. Oh no, he's just gonna go in.
He's just going in, he doesn't even care, he just dives in, drops the Colossus into the natural, and we see a lot of this from Disruptors, not so much with Colossus, especially because you can only fit 1 Colossus in the Warp Prism.
Yeah, Colossi drop are definitely not as often seen as like your double Archon drop or your as you said double Disruptor drop, because Colossi big boys, they take up a lot of space.
Oh yeah. They be big boys, and this is more of like kind of like a meme opening. I'm just surprised that he's committing so much to this, and we'll see how much damage he can get done. Oh my god, the missile turrets are here to defend as well.
Yeah, he's gonna tower it up. I think he's whipping up and he's pumping out the Vikings too. This should be a relatively impenetrable defense here for XY as Firefly continues to build up his AoE count. He's got Storm just finishing up now, Charge lots, more gates coming out. He's pumping it out.
This is disgusting. He's already got a 4th up. Like his economy, like the Protoss has just been left alone the entire game.
Yeah. Wait, are these all observers? No, some of the zealots. I was like, did he really make that many observers?
I love like the map vision from Firefly. I like, it's good that you pointed it out because this is something that Cham does or a lot of Zerg players do with Lings, but mate, he's got like zealots all over the place.
Yeah, he is like ready to just see anytime Terran decides to make a move. He is prepared.
Yeah, this is beautiful. And you know what it also does? It goes to show that he doesn't all army hotkey. Otherwise that would absolutely ruin this.
Oh yeah, that would be over. Yeah, Firefly is showing a very commanding style of this game, going for that blink opener, kind of threatening the Terran, and the Terran's like, oop, gonna get blinked on, I'm gonna stay at home, and just eating the map whole while the Terran stays at home.
Yeah, essentially. But this Terran army is still quite like threatening. Like there's a lot of tanks. There are a couple of ghosts here for EMP as well, so you have to be so careful.
He's ready. Oh, he's looking to make a drop here. He's got 4 medevacs filled up.
Oh, wow. But you know what?
Get spotted.
Yeah, get spotted by everything.
Very nice from Firefly. All that zealot positioning is going to catch out these drops and keep him locked at home, really.
Yeah,
as the zealots come charging in.
Exactly. XY, he wanted to go for a drop. He wanted to try and do something, not just be contained, but immediately he got spotted, and now it looks like Firefly is going to commit into this.
Yep, he's blinking onto the tanks. The tank's not sieged up. Storms all over the Colossi, pumping out the damage. There's still a decent number of Vikings here, but the AoE damage is a lot. Very good control from XY. He's actually going to be able to take this fight.
Ooh, yeah, like the storms were on point, the tanks were unsieged, but you know what? There were still 2 tanks on the high ground that were just shelling away on top of everything. There wasn't enough anti-air, so the Vikings went uncontested. There were only a handful of stalkers.
Yeah, and they all blinked on the tanks immediately, and they got focused down by the stimmed Marines as they pulled back. But the Remax here, even more blink stalkers.
Yeah, like, it's hard to say who came out on top because I feel like Firefly lost a lot there. Like, he lost all his High Templar and his Colossus as well.
Yeah, he lost a lot of expensive stuff, and he's gonna have to rebuild it all. Right now, he's remaxed on mostly gate units. He's got a couple of disruptors, another one on the way. This is gonna be interesting how he decides to take this, but he's going in right in again. Another good pick off in the tank. Another good focus fire. The arc here, though, very good from Terran, going to be able to discourage the Protoss on this side of the map at the very least.
Yeah, definitely, and it's important to note there is still one Ghost looking to try and get an EMP off. The Ghosts, are they going to get it? The EMP, the High Templar!
He hits the High Templar, that's massive. Whew. He only has he only had 2 High Templar and they were low on energy. That's like 1 storm each, maybe, maximum.
Not even. They don't have enough energy for a single storm, and 1 disruptor shot goes off, gets nothing, and now Firefly is forced back.
Yeah, he has to go home, blinking out. These High Templar are probably gonna be caught on the way out. Ooh, very quick morph into an Archon as Charge Lot's coming with the reinforcement in the front, trying to catch the Marauders out. Focusing down on this 3rd base, the Zealots getting kited back quite nicely. Another EMP goes out, but only hits the Zealots for the most part. Another one onto the Stalkers. As looking
yeah, Firefly needs to be careful not to overstay his welcome. He was able to deal a lot of damage, and a lot of that came down to the fact that XY didn't have any tanks here in position to defend. For the most part, I was about to say they're all defending the 4th. There's only 1 tank here. There's just that's all he's got.
Yeah, which is not great against this many charge lots, but he does have a decent Marauder count to back that up. And,
he actually doesn't have any factory production at all. Like, he's just not producing any more tanks or like Widow Mines or anything.
All his gas is going to Marauders and Ghosts, I think. He's got 5 Marauders at a time. Yeah, he's putting all his gas into Marauders here because he wants to deal with those charge lots.
Yeah. And to be fair, like, Marauders are pretty good against, like, the majority of the gateway units. Like, they're good against the robo units, against stalkers. They're thick boys, so they can even tank some storms as well.
Yeah, for sure. They are thick boys.
And yeah, you know, in the end, Firefly does back off. I think what's important is that this entire time, XY has just been stuck defending. You know, he hasn't been able to touch the economy of Firefly at all. And now we see Firefly, he's taking advantage of that, expanding and taking his 5th base as well.
Yeah, this is all the scrappiness of a stereotypical TVP, but the Protoss is just miles ahead in economy. Like, he's been on 4 bases for way longer than Terran. His 5th is about to finish up, and he should be able to saturate it real quick as, Zealot drop. He's got the double prism too.
Yeah, Jesus Christ, the double prism. Meanwhile, mass DTs go into the base. There are so many here, forced to lift up.
God, what a move from Firefly. Catching XY off guard, forcing the whole army home. And just a lot, these DTs, just so much destruction on the 3rd base.
Yeah, there's nothing here to stop them. Like, the entire army went up into the main base after the stim all the way and come down to defend the 3rd, but the damage was done. 16 SCVs went down.
Yep, that's just so much damage, and this might give Firefly a slight window to attack. He's gonna poke in a little bit, trying to find an opening to make the final push.
Firefly needs to come. He's getting a 6th base. Like, mate, there's too many Nexuses right now. You don't need this. You need to focus on your army, and a bunch of disruptors are getting caught out.
Yeah, they're getting caught up by the Marauders. The massive Marauder count here paying off with those concussive shells, catching out a couple of disruptors as Protoss is forced to pull back a little bit.
Yeah, like, Firefly's economy is insane. He's taking a 7th base!
He's taking a 7th on the rich Vespine base.
Oh my god.
Oh my god, the mass DTs once again.
Yeah, oh my god, like, there's only a planetary here. There is a single tank to help out with the defense. There are missile turrets. We'll see if these DTs can get much done. I'm just worried because, like, I feel like we're still missing, like, this big, like, backbone for the Protoss army.
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of money has gone into those DTs as they blink out of the scan range, but another scan is there. The Stim 4 should be able to catch this out, and this 5th base left a little bit vulnerable right now as the Protoss army is pushing into the 3rd base.
Oh yeah, we'll see if we like trade base for base at the moment, because XY, ooh, he doesn't go for the 5th. He's actually trying to go into the 4th where there are stacked defenses.
Yeah, and this is not going to do XY any favors as he's still losing on the 3rd, on his 3rd. He does push the army back, but at what cost?
Exactly, like he took massive disruptor shots on both sides of the map at the same time. There's a Zealot chipping away, and I thought we were going to end up in a situation where XY would just trade a base for a base, but he didn't end up getting a Nexus.
Yeah, he didn't kill the Nexus and lost his 3rd for it. He may have won the fight, but he lost the CC, and that's so important when you're at such a massive economic disadvantage.
Yeah, didn't just lose one, he just lost a 2nd there. And to what? Like, these are just gateway units. Like, it's fine if Firefly loses them.
These are just easy breezy trades for Firefly. Like, these units are so cheap while he's working on the more expensive backbone, the disruptors, the DTs, those sorts of things, high Templars. Oh, that was massive. A huge disruptor hit onto the main part of XY's army as he pushes into the 5th base. I don't even know what base it is anymore. The 5th base of the Protoss. He's not even going to connect out of this.
Yeah, and there's just not enough here. Everything gets forced to pick up. There's plenty of defenses for Firefly. Meanwhile, Firefly, he's, attacking, harassing across the map with a couple of DTs. It's not going to be enough, but you know what? As long as he defends, he's perfectly fine.
Yep, a big warping coming in. DTs and the Terran. XY is forced to go home once again.
Jesus Christ. And he's not stopping with that Marauder. He's got 6 Marauders at once in production. Jesus Christ. Oh no, there's one stuck.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh, that's a missed rally. Sorry, buddy.
He wants to be a part of the fight. He's stuck in between the gases. And I will say that I don't like that Firefly, hasn't been teching up. He hasn't been going to like the Sky Toss, the Fleet Beacon, but at the same time, like, he doesn't need to, you know?
He's rich enough that he can just keep spamming out these cheap gateway units and it doesn't matter. Ooh, Blink wasted to try and pick off these Minivacs and allows the drop to get into the main. I believe he's recalling to the main because he has no fast way to get there.
Yeah, exactly. He gets recalled to the main. Meanwhile, the army can just be picked up into these medevacs, but in the end, everything gets cleaned up. Meanwhile, the rally of XY is going towards that 5th base. Finally going to be able to maybe take this out. Like, he even brings his tank along with him, but oh my god.
Ooh, nice storm. The Zealots hitting that tank, and the other flank of the Protoss army comes in clean up. XY taps out GG.
GG. Oh my god, the greedy Protoss in Firefly is able to take out XY in game number 1, and we'll see what happens in game 2 after this break.
And we're back light with game 2 of Firefly versus XY. It's gonna be on Pillars of Gold.
It is going to be on Pillars of Gold, and I don't know how I feel about game one. Like, it was really cool to see Firefly kind of just apply that aggression and really just harass XY to the point where he could never really leave.
Yeah,
But
kind of reversing the roles a bit.
yeah. I also question a little bit the army composition for XY, like, because he was so marauder heavy, it did mean that it was a little bit more difficult to deal with the zealots, like, especially with no like AoE like widow mines or tanks, right?
Yeah, exactly. Like those Marauders, they're very good. They're tough. They do decent damage and they can slow things, but they're a little bit expensive on the gas side, and at the same time, they don't fire very fast.
Yeah, like, they're ideal against like stalkers, like all the robo units, not so much against like zealots and adepts, right? Like, they don't get that added like bonus damage to them, so it can be rough.
Absolutely. As we load into the map for game 2, I'm pausing to wait for things to load. There we go. As we are here with game 2. Welcome everyone to Pillars of Gold LE in the top right hand corner of the map. The blue Protoss playing for Dragon Phoenix Gaming. One up in the series, it is Firefly.
And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Pillars of Gold LE, we have the Chinese Terran player, the Red Terran, representing Invictus Gaming. It is XY.
Hashtag XY fans.
Hashtag XY fans. He needs your energy right now if he wants to, progress in this group and at least make it to the ace match.
He's gonna have to take this map, and this map, it's definitely an interesting one. I'm not too familiar with it in terms of the TVP matchup. My best understanding of it is Zergan is like freeze rounds all day, every day.
Pretty much. It can be a little bit more difficult to hold like your third base, especially on the right hand side. Like, it's surrounded by all this open space. It's surrounded by all this high ground as well.
That ledge.
Yeah, the ledge. Like, it can be rough, but like it goes both ways, right? Like, I feel like XY, he really needs to turn that aggression on,
Yeah, he really needs to like take that map control, because last game we saw Firefly had just he had zealots like all across the map. He had full map control, and XY was just like left at home, just building up army and like not knowing what's going on.
Yeah, exactly. And it's not like he was being extra. It's not like XY was staying at home and being extra greedy or anything. Like, he was playing it safe. He was taking his time to expand and take that third base. Like, he was playing very scared.
Yeah, and with the level of aggression from Firefly and with that Blink Stalker, like that Blink opening, it's kind of understandable they would play it super safe, because you don't want to just die to a Blink all-in.
Yeah, it goes to show why like a secondary scout is so important, to really figure out what your Protoss player is actually doing, right? Is he actually throwing down more gateways for that Blink, or is he, being greedy and taking a third?
Yeah, and in the case of that last game, he was taking the third. He faked him out with the Blink opening. Well, he started off with the Blink opening. XY got a scout off and was like, alright, switching it up, Robotics Bay. And he just expands, gets rich as hell, controls the entire map, just shows up with a bunch of Colossi and just, it's just a lot of power.
Yeah, definitely. I will say that if you recall, XY, he had a really good like first fight where he killed all the Colossus. Like, that was really dominant, and maybe if he took that fight and then, I don't know, maybe immediately counterattacked or something, maybe he would have been able to capitalize on his advantage. But again, he kind of stayed home after that.
Pushing that army supply advantage, because that fight, for the most part, it seemed very heavily Protoss favored, because, he had all the Colossi and the Storms and all that. He was very beefed up and ready to take on a massive buy army. But XY kind of outcontrolled that fight.
Yeah, definitely. And we'll see what happens here in game number 2. As so far, it looks like Firefly is going for a similar opening, but ooh, nice. Able to get some value with these gateway units.
Yeah, just poking in, being annoying, picking off Marines, just trade them out for free. It's always a good thing.
Oh my god.
Ooh, he's gonna get more here. Oh, he's gonna kill almost all these Marines.
Ooh, yeah, and that's really gonna affect, you know, the amount of Marines, especially if a drop wanted to come out. We do have a medevac on the way as well. Meanwhile, Firefly, just like last time, he's getting that blink, got that Twilight Council.
He's got the Twilight Row blink open, and we'll see what XY does about this if he manages to get a scout off, but instead he's just going for a drop.
Yeah, and this is the problem, right? Already 4 Marines have gone down. Like, with 4 more Marines as part of this drop, like almost doubling the Marine count, like this would have been so much more scary. With this army, we'll see what he can get done.
Yeah, he's got 6 Marines in a tank. It's not going to be quite as dangerous, but, you know, we'll see how he deals with it. And, ooh, Firefly looks to be a bit ready for something like this.
Oh, yeah, he already had his Stalkers in position, which means XY didn't commit to the drop. Instead, he sieges up outside the natural.
Yep, and he starts poking in on this very aggressive opening from XY, which would have been more deadly with, as we were saying about those trades, but here he's just gonna take his time and just poke in, do a bit of damage. He is trading out quite nicely with these Stalkers.
Oh, yeah, he's trying to focus down the robotics facility as well, which is quite vulnerable, and it could go down. Firefly is trying to keep it alive with the shield battery.
Yeah, you have the super battery, managed to keep the Robo alive just long enough to start working on that Immortal. That tank's still shelling. Ooh, but the blink over the wall, he's going to try and sneak up from behind.
Oh, he could get a tank for free as well. We'll see how good the reactions are for XY.
Yep, he blinks onto the tank. Oh, a nice pickup. Gonna save that tank with, like, no health.
Wow, and it looks like the Robo's going to go down. Oh.
Yeah, the Robo will go down. He gets the Immortal out, but it's going to get shelled down by this tank. There it goes. Not so great situation there for Firefly.
Yeah, Firefly, he is picking off reinforcements, so he's kind of, you know, making sure that this army is secluded and all alone, and this is all the push has. But at the same time, like, with the Liberator, like, this is a pretty strong contain.
It's very difficult to break something like this in Protoss' situation. But at least it won't continue any further. Alright, he's blinking over the wall. He's going to take out this tank. And from here on, it should be a relatively nice cleanup. A good pickup on the Immortal there with the Marines pushing in. The Liberator will go down, but the Marines do get out.
Yeah, and that was really nicely done. Like, the Immortal went down, the Robo went down as well, so that really slows down the Colossus production for Firefly.
Oh, yeah, that's gonna be rough for Firefly to come back from. Being down that Robo.
Yeah, like, it's only just now finishing. I mean, sure, he started Extended Thermal Lance as soon as he could, but he doesn't have a single Colossus yet. It's still working on it, so he's potentially vulnerable for, like, a second push if XY wanted to go for one.
Yeah, there's definitely a timing window here where XY can hit before Firefly is recovered, and that could potentially do a lot of damage.
Yeah, we'll see, as, again, the upgrades are still on the way for XY, like +1 only just recently started. Stim is going to finish up, but again, if he wants to go for a push, he wants to hit a timing, and oh, it looks like that drop was sniped by the Stalkers.
Yep, very nice defense from Firefly, going to be preventing any more damage. Don't know what this guy's doing.
Yeah, he's just chilling, you know?
He's going on a walk.
Yeah, he heard there was, like, an invite to, like, the big contain, and he's like, yo, I'm here, guys! Where's everyone?
Where's everyone gone?
What happened? We had a tank and a liberator out here. Like, I heard we were good. Oh god.
He just wanders back and he's like, alright, I guess I'll stand guard.
Oh no.
And Stalkers blinks on him. Ooh. Ooh. Goodbye. He died.
Oh god, but you know what? All these boys, they're ready to avenge their fallen Marines, as XY, he is going for that follow-up push for that second round, and Firefly, he's gonna spot it with this Stalker, which is great, but he only has 1 Colossus.
Yeah, and I don't know if that's gonna... Well, yeah, I don't know how good that is going to be against a 3 tank push. He's got a really nice Marine count, too. But 2 Colossi can do quite a bit of work. We shall see how he plays this. He does have this high ground here, as we were talking about. The ledge light. The ledge.
That ledge. We've got 4 tanks now against 2 Colossus. There is a 3rd on the way, but it's still in production. Oh, and the boys have been pulled as well.
Boys. He's going all in on this. He's brought so many SCVs here to tank for the Marines against these Colossi, and that might decide the fight. Here we go, Light. The blink onto the tanks. They're getting picked up one by one by these Stalkers. There's so many Marines. And the SCVs caught so much of that Colossus fire that this stim here might just be enough. No, but the kiting with the Colossi.
Oh my god, I thought that he was about to do it, but you're right, like the Marines are so squishy, so many went down to those Colossus, and both Colossus, they've stayed alive, and the third is about to pop out.
Yeah, this could be pretty bad for XY if he doesn't manage to pick off these Colossi. The amount of damage that they can put out onto these Marines is absolutely insane.
Yeah, exactly. Now he has to worry about two fronts. We have two Colossus to the left, one to the right. He's trying to stem forward and pick it off, but there is a Zealot Warp in.
Yeah, the Zealot Warper will push him back. The Stalker Blink onto a tank, picks off yet another siege tank as the stim comes forward, but all that AoE damage light, all those Marines are gone.
That's it.
That's it. Firefly takes